Hello viewers, hello seekers of knowledge. Om Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Now today we'll continue with the 18th sloka of Bhaja Govindam. First we'll sing the sloka and then we will explain that. Okay. Sura Mandira Tarumula Nivasaha Sura Mandira Tarumula Nivasaha Seya Bhutalam Ajinam Vasaha Seya Bhutalam Ajinam Vasaha Sarva Parigraha Bhogatyagaha Sarva Parigraha Bhogatyagaha Kasya Sukham Na Karoti Viragaha Kasya Sukham Na Karoti Viragaha Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Modhamate. See what a beautiful sloka. Sura Mandira. Sura means deity, God or goddess. Mandira means temple. A temple of God, a temple of goddess, or temple of a deity. Tarumula Nivasaha. Taru means tree. Mula means at the base of the tree. Nivasaha, residence. So here the another disciple of Sri Adi Shankaracharya by name Sureswaracharya. His name is Sureswaracharya. That disciple also got inspired and he is telling another sloka. He is telling about a true sannyasi. In this sloka, he is telling about a true monk, true renunciant. Who is a true renunciant, true monk? Suramandira. That means in the temples, near the temples, Tarumula Nivasaha. Tarumula, at the base of a tree. Nivasaha, one who stays under a tree or in the temple premises. Seyya Bhutalam. Seyya means bed. Bhutalam means on the ground, bare ground, on the earth, on bare ground. So Seyya Bhutalam, he sleeps on bare ground. Ajinam Vasaha. Ajinam means deer skin or a tiger skin, or we may also think of a bark of a tree. Lord Shiva wears the bark of a tree. Vasaha means clothes. So he doesn't have any clothes. He only wears the deer skin around his waist. He has no clothes like us. Sarva Parigraha Bhogaha. That means Bhogaha means sense pleasure, sense enjoyments. So Sarva Parigraha Bhogaha, the desire to enjoy sense pleasures, material enjoyments, sensory enjoyments. Tyagaha means to renounce, to discard that desire to enjoy the material objects. Kasya, for whom Sukham, that means pleasure, na karoti viragaha. Viragaha means a dispassionate person, a detached person, one who is not attached to his family or friends or relatives or riches or name or fame. No, he is not attached to these material luxuries or riches or wealth or such things. So such a person who is dispassionate or detached from the world is called viraga. So it is in Sanskrit, it is also called vairagya, vairagyam. So here it is being told of that true monk. See, uh, what enjoyment he won't possess, he won't attain to such a dispassionate person. So let us speak in a different way. So what is being told of the true monk is he has no residence of his own. He stays in temples. One day he stays in temples, or another day he sleeps. He resides under a tree, at the base of a tree. Sayya Bhutalam. So he doesn't have a bed, Dunlop bed that we all have, or a nice mattress. No, he doesn't have anything. He's Sayya Bhutalam. He's sleeping on the bare ground under a tree. Ajinam Vasaha. He doesn't have clothes like us. The only cloth he has is a deer skin or a tiger skin or the bark of a tree to just wrap it around his waist. Then Sarva Parigraha Bhogatyagaha. He renounced all bhogas. Bhogas means material enjoyment, sense pleasures. So Tyagaha, he renounced everything. So he has no hankering for such desires. So he is no more attached to those pleasures. So what enjoyments won't come to him? That is the meaning of this sloka. In other words, all enjoyments are within his reach only, because he has absolutely nothing with him. He has denounced and discarded and detached dispassionate about everything in the world. He has nothing of his own. So it is to say, he has that uninterrupted enjoyment or bliss of the divine, bliss of the God. He is always in the communion with God. So he is the most happiest. That is the meaning. That is the meaning of this sloka. He is the most happiest. So even if there is a millionaire or a billionaire, he is constantly worrying about how to, if he has 1 million, he is always worrying about and thinking about how to make it another 2 millions. If he got 2 millions, he is thinking of how to make 3 millions. So he is continuously trying to acquire more and more wealth. He has no mental peace. He won't eat at a particular time, because even if he wants to eat by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, he wants to have lunch, but he is busy with some meeting, or he is busy with some appointment with some VIP. So he doesn't have time to eat. So he eats someday at 3 o'clock or someday at 4 o'clock in the evening. And at night also he won't eat by 9 o'clock, because he is in some travel. He is traveling by airplane. So he is busy attending a meeting. So he will not eat by 9 o'clock. He will eat by some 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. And in the morning he might have to skip a breakfast. So his wrong lifestyle, wrong food habits, no exercise. So he is already having lot of diseases. So he is not eating properly, he is not sleeping properly, he is not exercising properly, he is not satisfied with his money. What enjoyment he is having? He is a millionaire, but he doesn't have mental peace or satisfaction or happiness. Today he is in India, tomorrow he is in America due to business appointment or some meeting with some VIP top executives. Another day he is in Australia. So he has no mental peace. He has no peace of mind. Okay, at 1 hour I will have happy rest. No, he has a wrong lifestyle. So such is the person. If suppose another person, he is a president of a country, so he is always worried about holding that seat of power, because even while sleeping he gets the nightmares that somebody has snatched his seat of power. Some opposition party person, he has snatched his seat of power and overthrown him from his power, political power. So he's always thinking of how to withhold his power, the seat of his power. So he also doesn't have any mental peace or satisfaction. Only this true monk who has renounced his desires and attachments and his world and his sensory enjoyments, he is free from all worries. He is always constantly in communion with God, 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 Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. He is always repeating the name of God. He is always meditating on the God. He always has a big smile on his face because he has no worries. That is the meaning of this sloka. That is why Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Always do service to mankind. Always do service to Lord Krishna, Lord Govinda. So now we move on to the 19th sloka. First we will sing the sloka, then we will explain the sloka. Yoga rato va bhoga rato va, yoga rato va bhoga rato va, sangha rato va sangha vihinaha, sangha rato va sangha vihinaha, yasya brahmani ramate chitam, yasya brahmani ramate chitam, nandati 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 eva, nandati 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 eva. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Modhamate. Another beautiful sloka by one of his 14 disciples. So first there was another disciple. Next, the previous one was Shankaracharya. Now there is another disciple. He also got inspired, and he is telling another sloka, beautiful sloka. Yogarato va bhogarato va. Yogarataha means one who is interested in practicing yoga and meditation. Va, or else bhogarato va. Bhogarataha means one who is interested in, one who is in the midst of sense enjoyments. Va, or else Sangarato va. Sangarataha means one who is in the midst of people or society. Va, or else Sangha vihinaha. That means, or one who is detached from everything, one who is alone in an isolated cave or forest. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam. Yasya, for one, brahmani means in Brahma, in Parabrahma, in Paramatma, in the God, in the Lord Almighty. Ramate chittam. Ramate means communion, enjoying in the communion by chittam, his mind. Chittam means his mind, manas, his mind. So overall it is saying yasya brahmani ramate chittam. That line means one whose chittam, mind, is ramate brahmani. That means who is constantly in the realized state or communion with brahmani, with Paramatma, with Almighty Lord. That means one who is a self-realized soul. That is the meaning. That means one who has realized his self or supreme soul or the spirit or the Lord Almighty. One who has realized that Nandati 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 Eva. Nandati means he will enjoy, he will be happy, happy, happy. Only he is happy. So Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Praise the Lord, serve the Lord, serve the Lord. So the whole meaning is here he is, that disciple is talking about 4 situations where you might be placed. So who is placed in those 4 situations? A self-realized master, a self-realized soul, a self-realized person who is in constant communion with God, who is enjoying the bliss of God. Such a person, when he is when even though he is in Sangarato, even though he is in, the first situation is he is in the midst of people or society, even though he is in such a situation, or Sangha Vihinaha. The second situation is he might be in a solitary cave or forest in some Himalayas alone. Or the third situation is he may be Bhogarataha, that means he may be in the midst of various sense attractions, sense pleasures, material enjoyments, luxuries, comforts. He may be in the midst of such sense attractions. Or the fourth situation is Yogarataha. He may be constantly practicing yoga or meditation. So, in which of these 4 situations he might be placed, such a self-realized person, he always enjoys himself. He always be in bliss. He always be in uninterrupted bliss or joy. So I think you understood. Let me give you example. So the first situation is Sangarato, in the midst of people or society. Swami Vivekananda is a self-realized master. He is a self-realized soul. But he was always in with the people. He traveled throughout India by foot, on foot. So he was mingling with people of different sorts, different walks of life. Then he went to America. Then he went to England. Then he again came back to India. He is in the midst of the people and society. But he was already by then a self-realized master. So even though he is in the midst of people or society, he was always in bliss only. He was always in that uninterrupted enjoyment or bliss of the communion with God. See, but suppose a unrealized, non-realized person, he will soon forget about God and mix with those people. But Swami Vivekananda, he never got attached to this world, even though he was in world, because he was enjoying the supreme bliss, uninterrupted enjoyment of his soul, of the supreme spirit. So the second situation, Sangha Vihinaha, means a person who might be in a cave or a forest in Himalayas alone. He is practicing meditation or communion with God. He is practicing yoga. He is doing strict penance, austerities. But if he is a self-realized person, then there also he enjoys the same uninterrupted enjoyment and bliss. So the third case is Bhogarato. So in the midst of various sense enjoyments, sense attractions, King Janaka, there was a great king by name Janaka. he was an emperor, he was a king of a big huge kingdom. So he has to perform several duties and responsibilities, like meeting his courtiers, talking to people, solving their problems, so many trials and tribulations. But he was unfazed by all those things. His mind was always, he is also a self-realized soul. So his mind is always, was always in communion with God. So his joy was uninterrupted. Even though he is performing, being a great king, he was performing several duties and responsibilities. He has to bear the burden of king. He has to bear the brunt of enemyship of neighboring kingdoms. But he faced everything, but always in constant communion with God, uninterrupted bliss, enjoyment. So that is the whole essence of this sloka. It doesn't matter where you are. That is the essence of this sloka. It doesn't matter where you are posted. You might be posted in a by the God in the midst of people to serve those people, or you may be alone in a solitary cave or forest in a Himalayas doing some penance or meditation or yoga or something, or you might be the king of a kingdom that's performing several duties and responsibilities. But if and only if you are a self-realized person, you will have that self uninterrupted enjoyment and bliss of God, the Lord Almighty. Otherwise you will drown yourself in that world only. You will be detached from God and attached to the world. So if you are self-realized, then your enjoyment or joy or bliss will be uninterrupted. That is the meaning of this sloka. That is why Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Praise the God, sing the glories of God, serve the mankind, poor and needy people, serve the great Lord Govinda or Krishna. Now we'll moving on to the 20th sloka. First we'll sing the sloka, then we will explain. Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadhita, Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadhita, Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita, Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita, Sakrudapiyena Murari Samacha, Sakrudapi Yena Murari Samacha, Kriyate Tasya Yamena Na Charcha, Kriyate Tasya Yamena Na Charcha, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Modhamate. See, such a beautiful sloka. Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadhita. Kinchit means a little, Adhita means learning. So even if you learn a little of Bhagavad Gita, a few verses or slokas of Bhagavad Gita, Kinchit Adhita, even if you learn and practice few little of Bhagavad Gita, few slokas or verses of Bhagavad Gita, Ganga Jala Lava Kanika Pita. Ganga Jala means Ganga, the river Ganges, holiest of the rivers, one of the holiest rivers in India, holy Ganges, it is called Ganga. Ganga Jala means water. Lavakanika means even a little few drops, Pita, if you drink. That means if you drink even a few drops of the holy water of Ganges, river Ganges. Sakrudapi Ena, even a little if you, Murari Samarcha. Samarcha means worship. Who? Worship whom? Murari, is another name of Lord Krishna. So even if you worship Lord Krishna for a few moments, for a few minutes, say 10 minutes or 15 minutes, half an hour, kriyate tasya yamena na charcha. Yamena, with Yama, na charcha, no discussion with Yama. Yama is the Lord of Death. No discussion with Lord Yama. That is a poetic way of saying. The real meaning is you won't have to fear the death. That is the meaning. You will attain moksham, salvation, liberation. How? Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadita. Even if you learn few verses or stanzas of Bhagavad Gita and practice it, that is the first criteria. Second criteria is even if you drink few drops of the holy water of river Ganges, or Sakrudapiyena Murari Samarcha, even if you worship Lord Murari, Lord Krishna, Lord Govinda for a few moments, then these are the three criterion. So criteria, if you follow these, then you won't have death. Even you will be liberated while living, and after death also you won't be reborn. You will attain permanent communion with Lord Almighty. You will be liberated, or you attain salvation or moksham. That is why Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Please always praise God, sing the glories of God, read the holy scriptures, listen to holy people, listen to the sermons or speeches or pravachanams of holy people. Repeat his holy name Krishna, take a rosary of beads and repeat for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 times Lord Krishna, 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 or your chosen personal God. That doesn't matter which religion you belong, that doesn't matter. Then you do meditation on the beautiful form of your personal God or a guru, that is your preceptor. So, and serve, most importantly, serve the mankind, because you are in this mankind, you are in this world, you are with people, you have received so much from people. You have received from your parents, elders, teachers, gurus, and spiritual teachings, money, all the comforts, everything you are receiving from the society, you have to pay back. Otherwise, that will become a debt. Then there won't be any moksham, no liberation. Unless you repay all your debts, there won't be any liberation. So, serve the mankind. Most importantly, serve the old people, elder people, serve the poor people who don't have food or water or clothes. So serve the needy people, not only poor. Even if there is a rich person who met with an accident and is lying on the road bleeding blood, then won't you help? You have to help. So you have to serve the poor and needy people. So no, that doesn't matter who the person is. If he is in need, you have to urgently serve them. That is serving God only. Then serve the mankind, serve the God with all this worship, repetition of name called as chanting or japam, and meditation. So then you will definitely get moksham or liberation or salvation in this birth only. So let us continue in another video later. Till then, God bless you all.